Okay, so let's talk about a guy named Julian Mantle. This man was a legal superstar who, on the outside, had absolutely everything you could ever want. We're talking a seven-figure income, a huge mansion, a private jet, and of course, that shiny red Ferrari. But you know how these stories go. Beneath all that glitter, his life was just completely empty. This is the story of his wild journey, from the very top of the material world all the way to finding some real, deep, spiritual wisdom.
So picture this. This is Julian Mantle at his absolute peak. He's the young star of his law firm, the guy they call a rainmaker, someone who literally never lost a case. He was the kind of person everyone looked at with total envy. You know, the living, breathing definition of modern success. Just a complete force of nature, driven by this crazy ambition that, well, it would eventually be the thing that took him down.
But yeah, of course, all that success, it came with a massive price tag. Julian's life was just dangerously out of balance. Think about it. 18-hour workdays, just running on fumes and raw ambition, and this constant chase for more money, more prestige. It ended up costing him his marriage, his health, and maybe worst of all, he completely lost touch with who he even was.
And then boom, it all just came crashing down. Right in the middle of some high-stakes case in a packed courtroom, Julian just collapses. A massive heart attack, right there on the floor. I mean, you can't get a more brutal, in-your-face wake-up call than that. His lifestyle wasn't just stressful, it was literally killing him.
So after that heart attack, Julian does something that no one saw coming. He did the unthinkable. He quits the law firm, sells the mansion, the private jet, and yep, even that shiny red Ferrari he loves so much, he just walked away from it all, vanished. He heads off to India on this big spiritual quest, looking for the answers that all his money and success just couldn't buy.
So what exactly happened on that journey, right? Well, this is where the story gets really interesting. It stops being just a cautionary tale and turns into this incredible lesson on how to live. It's his journey from complete and total burnout to a life-changing breakthrough.
Okay, so fast forward a few years. A man walks back into his old law firm, and get this, he looks young, he's vibrant, he's glowing with peace. It's Julian Mantle, but not. He's totally transformed. The stressed out, kind of old-looking lawyer, gone. In his place is this enlightened guy who's just radiating calm and purpose. He literally traded his $1,000 suit for a simple monk's robe and found a kind of richness that money could never buy.
So Julian came back with this treasure chest of wisdom. He learned from these mystical sages up in the Himalayas, the sages of Savannah. And what was the very first, most important lesson they taught him? Simple. It all starts right here, in your mind.
This right here, this was the absolute core teaching from his mentor, a guy named Yogi Rama. And it's a total game changer, right? It's about completely reframing your reality. Just think about it. What if every single setback, every struggle you've ever had, wasn't a failure at all? What if it was actually a gift, a lesson in disguise, giving you a chance to learn and grow and just become stronger?
And that leads to this huge point. It's not what happens to you that really matters, it's how you choose to see it. It's that simple. You could have two people go through the exact same thing. One sees a total disaster, and the other one sees a brand new opportunity. All the power, 100% of it, is in how you interpret your life.
So once you start to master your thoughts, everything changes. You're no longer a prisoner of your past. You're in the driver's seat. You stop just reacting to whatever life throws at you, and you start becoming the architect of your future, consciously building the life you actually want to live.
Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But a philosophy doesn't mean much if you don't put it into practice, right? So how do you actually do this stuff? Well, Julian shared a bunch of really simple but super powerful daily rituals to help you master your mind, your body, and your soul. And believe it or not, it all starts with one simple number, 21. The sages were convinced that this number was the key to making any change stick for good. So, what's the big deal with 21? Here it is, the magic rule of 21. The sages taught that if you do any new activity for 21 days in a row, it becomes a habit. It just crystallizes. It doesn't matter what it is, waking up earlier, meditating, hitting the gym. If you can just stick with it consistently for 3 weeks, you've literally carved a new pathway in your brain. It becomes second nature.
Now, to make sure you're actually building the right habits, the ones that make a real difference, the sages also taught the ancient rule of 20. You've probably heard of this. It's the 80-20 rule. Basically, 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. So the whole point is to stop just being busy and instead get laser-focused on that crucial 20% that really moves the needle.
So what are some of these high-impact rituals? Well, here are a few to get you started. First, the ritual of abundant knowledge. Just read for 30 minutes every single day to feed your mind. Then there's the ritual of service. Practice daily acts of kindness. Seriously, serving other people makes your own life better. Next up, the ritual of gratitude. Spend a little time every day just appreciating what you already have. And finally, the ritual of simplicity. Just reduce your needs. You'll find that real fulfillment isn't about getting more stuff, it's about wanting less of it.
You see, all of these practices, mastering your mind, building these powerful new habits, they're not just about making you happier in the moment. Nope, they're all building blocks for something so much bigger.
And this is the ultimate point of it all. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, it doesn't matter how many Ferraris you had or how big your bank account was. The quality of your life really just comes down to the quality of your contribution. The sages taught that a life of service is the highest purpose you can have. I love this one saying they had. A little bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives roses.
And maybe the best part of all of this, you don't have to wait. Real, profound change doesn't take months or years to get started. It can happen in a single instant. The exact moment you make a real, no turning back decision to be the master of your own fate. That's when everything shifts. This is the final, amazing truth that Julian came back to share. Your past, it doesn't define you. Your future, it's not written yet. Everything you could possibly need, all the power for change, for growth, for a truly great life, it's already inside you, right here, right now.
So, the whole story of the monk who sold his Ferrari really boils down to this one question for you. It's not about what you're going to do someday, or when you finally retire, or when you magically have more time. It's about right now, today. So what dent, even a small one, are you going to make in the universe today?